Look at this.
Gentlemen's grooming line. This is definitely new.
We'll never last.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
But if you tap on the screen, I think you could lower it. You know, like how a phone works. There he goes. That is so funny, because I remember the days, man. Regis up, God.
I sucked. I love baseball, but I couldn't.
Yeah, let's mic you up. Yeah.
Okay. I gotta get your number. How are you? Is this your photographer?
This is my video.
You know,
for
G,
Tim.
look at no secret. That's what we use to do a lot of our news stories now. That's
Pocket cam.
actually clearer than those big giant cameras that you see. The quality on that is unbelievable.
Yeah, 4K.
So I'm familiar. And look, a good thing I wore black. See?
Come on.
Do you want me to? Can I bring this, or is it silly to bring this? Put it away.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna go to Jerry's and go to water, just for the sake of the content.
You're gonna what?
Go to Jerry's and get a drink there.
Oh, you want to get there? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even buy anything at Jerry's. My kids like Jerry's.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's not Italian, you know.
Yeah. What is like your go-to spot then in Westchester then?
My go-to spot in Westchester, like for food?
Yeah, for like a deli, if you're gonna go.
Oh, for Casa d'Italia.
Where's that?
In Harrison.
In Harrison, yeah.
Or I like Anthony's.
Okay.
I like Anthony's Deli in
Word.
also in Harrison, Holstead Avenue.
Anthony's. Oh yeah, I didn't know that. I thought that was Mamaroneck, more than Mamaroneck.
It is more Mamaroneck. It is.
Oh, so Tim, we're gonna walk through the woods and go
woods?
to town. I forgot Timmy's not from out here. So we're gonna go this way.
Because you're not from out here.
Yeah, he's from Crow and Harmon.
So Crow and Harmon. Great train station up there. So this is how he does it. Look, so he looks at it that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually hire him at Fox 5, get somebody to knows how to use the Osmo.
Man, it's my camera. What
it's yours? All right, I gotta hire Angela. I'm sorry.
That's funny. Oh, real quick though, before you hop in there, I also want to talk about Gagliardo, man.
Yeah. You do?
Yeah.
Is that you purposely brought me here?
Hello.
Yeah, that's why you went here. So you give a lot of thought into this, right? So you're like, where can I bring Richard? Like, where can I?
Because if I bring
what
Richard
do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to talk about how we could probably, I'm going to be straightforward. I want to fix this park up, man.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, this is like one of the only parks, like Timmy, panic. Most playgrounds have a slide, man. This is the only park I know that doesn't have a slide.
Oh, wow. You know, I never even noticed that. I mean,
yeah.
This is like the, forgotten park, I feel like, in Rye, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like there were really some nice parks, but until you told me that we were going to meet here, then I said, oh, Gagliardo. And then, of course, I got like, chills now, like trauma, PTSD when I heard Gagliardo, where my little baseball career began that didn't go anywhere. But, so you want to fix it, well, you want to see it like...
I want to see this alive
improved.
and thriving. I want it to be like the Rye Rec. I want it to be like any other park in Westchester.
Yeah, this is really, wow.
It's depressing.
I haven't brought my kids here.
I mean, look at the basketball court. It has potholes.
Well, who's in charge of this? City of Rye?
City of Rye, and I try to talk, and I know there's Facebook groups I've joined, and I feel like it's just like a big city hall. I feel like if I made enough commotion about it, something might get done. But other than that, they try to just overlook it almost.
They might, but you know what? Because you're young and you live in the community, like, and you come out and say, like, hey, I want to do something. Maybe it's a news story.
Maybe it's a news story. Local,
everything's a news story.
Man, was trying to redo the park. I was trying to bring the Summerfest back. I don't know if you ever been to the Summerfest here growing up, but
oh my god,
it was just like a big carnival.
You're really throwing me back today.
Yeah, so they used to have like the bouncing houses and the water slides in the park, and the fire trucks used to come in and spray the kids, relay races, pie eating contest.
Those are the good old days.
And I was trying to bring that back, and the city was talking about, we don't got the funds. Rye, New York doesn't have the funds. Come on.
They don't have the funds. Well, they had the funds for certain things.
Yeah.
Not for all these. Well, they just did like a bouncy castle thing. Who did it on the lawn of the library?
Oh,
what do they call that?
I remember that.
They do it like once a year.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the touch a truck thing,
right.
Like the truck festival for kids. But again, that's like you have to pay for that. They're charging admission. People aren't. They're not just.
Yeah.
Gonna put it on the taxpayers.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people have another fit.
I just had a plan though. Like I have a plan. I feel like I'm so connected now that I could get sponsors and people to actually donate stuff. I can make it happen because I wish I could just tell the city like, bro, we don't really need funding. A little bit would help. But
if only, Angelo, I knew how to play baseball back then, and I could have hit the ball instead of being benched.
Rich, you were so bad.
I was so bad. I could have been an all-star. I could have been on the Yankees, and I could have come back here and they could have named the park after me.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm looking at it with bad memories. I remember my dad used to drive me down here, and I would be all nervous, because I almost like, I love the game. I love the game so much, but first of all, I had such social anxiety, and I didn't want to be part of a team.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I was like, I can't do this.
Richard
I
Giacovas,
can't do
bro.
this.
It
I
is
can't do
hilarious.
this. And my dad, every time I would come up to bat, he would go sit in the truck.
Oh man.
True story. That's how bad I was.
No, Richard,
that's how bad I was.
I think he might have been the worst one in the whole little league.
Wasn't it so?
It was
Wasn't it
just,
terrible?
It was like he wasn't even trying. I remember it vividly.
You
man.
remember?
I remember. What team were you on when he played at the Gag? I remember I was on the Marlins and the Royals.
And
I
my
won.
goodness.
We
The
won
Royals
championship.
sounds familiar. I could have been in Kansas City Royal. Yeah. Great coaches. Gary Adamson, great coach.
Oh, were you on the A's?
Yeah, mate. I was on different teams. It was different teams.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Oh my! Do you know what I used to do? I used to pray for rain because I didn't want to play. I used to go, I think the game is going to be rained out today.
That is
How
so
bad is
funny.
that?
It's real. I remember it.
But you know what I did? I used to stand out in the outfield
Yeah.
and I used to announce the game out loud because that's what I love to do. So I loved the play-by-play part of it. I loved the actual baseball game. So I was pretending I was John Sterling while I was out in the field.
Wow.
Not realizing that, I'm not really into the game. I'm just into announcing.
Yeah.
And I would go sit, and sometimes when I would go sit back on the bench, that's what I would do. I would start announcing the game.
Yeah.
And then I became a hit in the dugout, not on the field.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right, so we go walk now. But yeah, this is Gagliardo, man. I promise you, one day something's going to change about this park.
Okay.
They're either going to fix it or they're going to tear it down and put apartments
Are
here.
they going to name it after you?
See, Timmy, he said it.
Well, they
said
can't
it.
name it after me.
He said it.
I have no legacy here.
Yeah, no, I feel like if I could put a little bit more legwork in, I feel like I deserve it. I could.
Yeah.
And not deserve it, but I feel like it'd be worth it. I mean, it's named after a gentleman that died in World War II, but they could name the field after him. I could get the park.
Is it real?
Polymaf Park.
I didn't even know it was named after a guy in World War II.
Yeah, Samuel Gagliardo.
Where are we walking
man.
on, to 95? What's this?
This is just the pathway to get back up.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, let me give you a formal.
This is where Angelo kills me.
Yeah, in the woods. We got Richard Giacovas here. Okay, this man, I want to say, is a Rye legend, a Westchester legend, a New York legend. Okay,
Definitely not.
I watched this man.
At least not over here.
People say like, "Oh, I knew Richard since high school and everything." I knew Richard since Osborne Elementary
That's
School.
right. Our picture is still on the wall in there because my stepdaughter walks by it
Oh wow!
every day. She told me that last night.
You had the throwback fifth grade play.
2002.
Yeah,
The fifth grade play, and we're still there.
that's awesome.
That's a legacy.
Yeah, that's legend.
We're still here in Rye.
So Richard Giacovas is a Fox 5 news reporter. And bro, I'm nothing short of proud
Good
of
thing
him,
you
this
said
man.
Fox 5. People say Fox News.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
thing you say
yeah.
Fox 5.
Yeah,
See?
right.
Angelo knows what he's talking about. All right, I'll let you continue now.
That's funny as hell because like, you watch your Fox. Like, no, not that Fox, not that Fox.
Yeah, boy.
Oh yeah, so you're gonna go down this way and make a right at the stop sign, and we're gonna keep just going straight down. And yeah, so one thing about Richard, he set the tone for me. When he was in like I guess sophomore, junior, senior, you did I don't know how long you did the video production class.
Oh.
But that's what inspired me. When I got to high school and I seen Richard on the news, I said, I don't know what that is, but I gotta be in that seat. I gotta do that. And I don't think I took video production with you. I think my senior year I took video production. Or was I?
Yeah.
Or was I with you?
You must have been. No, I think you were. We may have overlapped.
Okay.
Because I remember you in the class.
Right. Okay.
I
I think so, but I think I did it both junior and senior year. I had to have because when you were doing it,
you were into it.
yeah, I
You were
loved
into it. Not a lot of kids were, because you gotta have the bug. You gotta like it.
Right. Yeah, I loved it.
You
I
know,
loved
if
being
you're
on
not
TV. I
into
just
it.
loved the attention. I just knew I was different in Rye High School. Bro, I knew I stood out, and I was like, well,
You did.
let's tap into it. Let's hone into it. And I was doing the news. I
Yeah.
kind of changed it to the BET news. Mr. Lamone would be like, would always bring up like, the way Richard did it last year, the way Richard did it last year.
Yeah,
And I'd be
the
like,
way
"Hey,
Richard
man."
did. Yeah, they were like, yeah, all right, Richard's gone.
But one thing about you, man, you had this vernacular and the cadence of a news reporter and an anchor since goddamn elementary school. Like your whole life, I feel like you had that natural talent to report.
You know, I yes, from when I was a little kid, as far back as I can remember.
Make it right, Tim.
Probably a little older than what my son is now. I was obsessed with the news. I remember I used to watch NBC, was like the station that I watched. We're going in the middle of the street here.
Yeah, I said go to the sidewalk, man. Sidewalk, bro. There's going to be a sidewalk.
I'm teasing him. And I used to, so we talked about, how I was doing the John Sterling, but then I wanted to also like be on the desk, be like in the news, like you said. So even before I was in middle school or high school, I remember I would set up like a fake desk in my house, and I would take my laptop back then, and I would like imitate whatever was happening on the local news on NBC. I was doing here. So Chuck Scarborough and Sue Simmons were the big anchors at that time. Both now retired.
That is so funny that you said those names, because when I was in the announcement, I was watching 106 in Park and like TRL, and I was emulating those vibes.
Okay, very, very different. We'll make them draw their own conclusions.
Yeah, no, that was so funny because that's how I was really treated. Like I had the intro music coming in the morning because I was having Chris Brown. I kept the hip hop on there, man.
I can't say I ever did that.
Because
I wanted to be that like traditional, like
No, you were really the
news anchor. That's who I admired. That's who I wanted to be. And when eventually when I got to college, that's when I got an internship at WNBC. I did that through Chuck Scarborough, who I stayed in contact with from when I was in high school. When I asked him, I cold emailed him and said, "Hey, can I get a tour of NBC?" And he wrote back to me.
That's awesome.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, come on up one day and watch the 6 o'clock news."
Oh wow.
And I did, and then we stayed in touch. And I had my internship. I went there, and then I'm jumping ahead.
What was the hardest part of this journey? Because you did the internship, then went to Channel 12, right?
Yes. So I did the internship, and then I graduated college. And I remember I had a couple of different opportunities. One of them was working at WCBS 880.
Oh,
the radio, which is now gone.
Oh.
Well, because there's no more audience for that.
Really?
Like
AM radio,
880 is gone. We only have 1010 wins now for news.
Okay.
So, and they wanted to hire me as like an overnight production assistant, which is the entry-level position to get in.
Right.
But it was going in at 2:30 in the morning, all the way down in Lower Manhattan, and I was really stressing about it.
Yeah.
And I remember that my grandmother was in Lord and Taylor in Eastchester and ran into Janine Rose. You remember Janine?
Yeah.
Another legend of Westchester County. And she said, "Oh, I have my grandson. He's looking for a job and he wants to do the news." She goes, "All right, well, have him reach out to this guy at the time." And so I did. They happened to have an opening, another overnight shift.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But it was in Yonkers. It wasn't in Lower Manhattan.
Yeah.
It was in a familiar place. Again, it was like it was a production assistant again. Forgot. Yeah, it was a PA. What the
entry level job. You got to get work. You got to get your foot in the door. Then bust it wide open.
So
go ahead, Tim.
I get it. I'm right near my house over. That's where I live.
Oh, awesome.
Here.
Oh,
so we're renting. So, why are you laughing? Well, who can afford rides?
That's funny as hell. He's like, don't get carried away.
Yeah. I want to make sure everybody knows that.
Hilarious.
So I was, where was I? Oh, so I'm going to News 12.
Yeah.
I get my whatever. They hire me.
You go around.
Maybe it's all good. Part of it. They hire me. I start. It's like 3 days a week. Early mornings, and that's a rough shift.
Okay.
That's a rough shift.
Yeah.
If you're on air, it's probably a little better because you have to be on. But when you're like young, and you're getting like, I couldn't put myself to sleep, so I was staying up all night, and then I was going in. But anyway, so I did that, and then a couple years into it, they moved me as a full-time producer. But they knew I wanted to be on air, and I kept telling them I wanted to be on air. So Carol Burnett, was playing at the Westchester County Center. Forgot what year, maybe 2015, 2014. And I begged them, I said, can I please, I'll get the interview with her, and can I do it on TV? I'll put it together. And they allowed me to do it. And it was like my first time on television.
Yeah.
And then I became like this little entertainment reporter for them.
Right.
You know, so I would do it was the Beach Boys and John Stamos at the county center. Then it was the Jacksons.
Yeah.
So I was doing all these entertainment stories. So I was getting my face out there.
Yeah.
Then they had this company come in and buy out News 12.
Huh.
So it was molded down and a lot of people lost their jobs.
Wow.
And they created these MMJ positions. You know what an MMJ is?
No, I don't.
Multimedia journalist.
Okay.
So you do it all. You write,
Digital, everything?
you shoot, you report,
Oh, wow.
you edit. It's all on you.
Yeah. I thought
It's
they've been doing
basically-
that though. I thought reporters always had to be well, for the most part. 'Cause
Well, we're not really like at Fox 5 because of the union. We're not allowed to pick up a camera. We're not allowed to edit or touch any of the equipment.
Yeah.
Our job is talent. But I mean, I don't know how long those days are going to last because it's a very volatile industry right now.
Mm-hmm.
But so back then I become an MMJ and I'm the first one in Westchester. I do that for about a year and a half. And then I get the email from who is now my news director at Fox 5, who cold emailed me because he saw an old YouTube reel that wasn't even up to date.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, hey, I see your stuff. I don't know if you're familiar with Fox 5. He said, but we'd like to meet you. I mean, this was totally, this does not happen. I know it doesn't happen.
it's a miracle.
And I was just like, what? And I remember it was the middle of the night one night, and I didn't even check this Gmail. I made this Gmail account when I made this reel, and I happened to look at it, and I was like, my God, is this real? Is this spam?
Yeah.
So and then we had a couple of meetings, and then they brought me on 6 years ago.
Wow. At Fox.
At Fox, yeah.
What made you stand out? I feel like there's a lot of competition with reporters and new people coming in and stuff. Did you feel a sense of competition and trying and having to stand out, or because you felt like maybe
at Fox or anywhere?
Even at Channel 12?
Oh.
I just feel like at Channel 12 that's the stepping stone to get to the next level to a certain point. To a certain extent.
It is. I wasn't. It's very easy to become complacent somewhere. This isn't any job, I think.
Yeah.
So I was complacent, I think, at 12, but I needed that boost. Listen, I got handed it to me.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't happen to people.
Right.
I know, because
they came to you. You didn't even apply.
They came to me. They came to me. I swear to God. And that's a story that I could still say, well, I did it on my own.
Yeah.
Nobody helped me. I didn't know a lot of people. Okay, so there was a connection with News 12. It got me in the door because my grandmother ran into Janine Rose. But if I didn't perform well, then I wouldn't have been able to stay there.
I feel like you were running circles around people to a certain extent. I feel like you almost became the face of Channel 12. Unless I'm bugging, but Richard was everywhere.
I will say to this day,
yeah.
If I go to Stu Leonard's in Yonkers, they still say to me, News 12.
Yeah.
I haven't been on News 12. I said it's been 7 years.
Wow.
They still remember me from there.
Nah, when Rich
because
made it,
it's that local audience. That's why.
Yeah, that first time I see you on TV, I said, nah, that's it. Dude made it. I seen you sign a picture. They put it on Sunrise. I was like, oh, he made it.
God, Sunrise. Yeah. It's been a little bit of a journey.
Yeah, man.
But I'm content where I am now. I am. News could be. You can have really tough days.
Right.
You can have really good days.
What does that mean? A tough day, like a slow day?
No, actually, I think a tough day is when you got a ton of breaking news, and you're being sent all over the place, and you have to meet your deadlines, and there's a rush about it, but there's also it's high stress sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's always logistics. It's always coordination. But again, I think I have some ADD in me because I couldn't envision sitting in an office all day, in a cubicle, and not doing anything. However, I do like anchoring.
Right.
And that was really my dream, Angelo. Angelo, where'd you go?
No, I was thinking about going to the side of you and say, that's not going to work for the camera.
No, it's not going to work. Yeah. He's going to get all confused, your photographer. So I felt like, let me just tell you about the anchoring, because I always wanted to be an anchor.
Yeah.
That was like, I dreamed of walking onto a set one day and looking at that fake skyline video that they all have behind them. You know what I'm talking about? Like on the desk, they have the New York City skyline.
Yep.
I always envisioned it. About, I want to say 3 years into Fox 5, my news director calls me, goes, hey, I'm going to have you do an anchor read for me on the desk. Don't get too excited, he said, but we need to have people ready to anchor because in case people go out. Now, I'm not a main anchor now, but so I did. He took a look at it. A couple weeks after I did that read, the weekend anchor has this like bad injury in his ankle or something. What did he have? I forgot what he had now.
Yeah.
Athlete's something?
Athlete's foot?
Maybe? I don't remember. No, he...
Turf toe?
No. Yeah, he fell off his bike. No, it was a muscle injury. So he was going to be out for like a month.
Tim, we're going to go to this deli straight ahead. Yeah.
And so when he's out, they throw me on the desk. They said, you're going to anchor your first show. It was actually this month. It was June of 21.
Wow.
This was like a month after I did my anchor read, my first anchor read. So I was thrust into it.
How did that feel though? Were you nervous or were you like, finally?
Very nervous, super nervous.
Yeah.
But I remember when I fill in today, when you walk up to that desk and I see that skyline, that fake skyline on the screen.
Yeah.
I said, God, I always dreamed of it. And here I am. Like I'm able to.
I know that feeling. That's how I felt when I first got to the Breakfast Club. I'm like, wow, I'm here,
which is very cool.
Yeah,
I did
man.
watch you on that.
Like,
so
I'm
like
here.
things like that, if you envision it and suddenly it happens, where are we going? This way?
I was gonna get a water, yeah.
Oh, Angelo needs water.
Yeah.
I'm doing all the talking. He needs water. All right. You have to go film him getting water?
Yeah, we film the whole thing. We do the whole thing.
The whole thing?
Come walk with me, talk with me, man. You want water too?
I still got it. No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right.
I don't drink. I don't drink water.
Oh, that was coffee in the cup you had earlier?
That was
something?
coffee.
Tim, you want water?
Sure.
Jerry's Deli, man.
How far do you live from here, Angelo? Where are you?
I live at the park.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right over there?
Yeah.
Oh, how convenient.
That's why he wants to renovate it so bad.
Yeah, I feel like that's why I was like, bro, the dude lived here his whole life.
It's so true.
Angelo Field or something, Polymaf Park. I don't know how I'm gonna raise. I gotta raise the money or find somebody that builds courts that will do something.
You will. You will though, because you're determined.
Yeah.
I have no doubt. Well, maybe we have to really turn that into a news story though.
Let's talk about it.
Wait, like, local kid, grew up here, really wants to revitalize this park, but you got to get the city involved. You got to get you have to go to the City of Rye Town Hall and you got to say, hey, how do I do this?
Yeah. What do you think goes first, that or a story to bring attention? So like, oh shit, we should take them serious.
I think you have to get the city at least involved.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I gotta call my photographer who's supposed to come.
Isn't this your photographer?
No, it's my
you have a
videographer.
different
Hold on.
photographer?
Videographer.
Oh, you're the videographer. See, we call them all photographers in news.
Got you.
Call me whatever you want.
I guess.
Hold on.
This is the future.
It is.
Looks,
Yo, you still around?
No, man, I'll call you.
Yeah, it's
You don't know, I'm not going, you know.
All right, because I would say I'm in Rye still now.
You're on the ride right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take my car right now.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
How long you want to take that thing?
30 more minutes? 30 minutes?
30 more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be there. Wait for me.
I got you. Bye-bye.
I'll call you, okay?
All right.
Okay, bye.
Angelo's getting his water. It takes him all day to get water. Come on, Angelo, let's go.
Here you go, Brody, bro.
All right, where are we going now?
This way we walk through town.
Okay. My workout continues.
Let's go, Rich.
Cardio. I'm doing cardio
You
with
are a
you
workout
today.
head, though, right?
I do. Yeah, I go to the
Yeah.
gym. I'm going to go after this.
Oh, wow.
And then I have to go, then I have to get ready to go to work.
Oh, wow.
Because my day really starts at like 2.
Okay.
So to try to get,
Oh, and you're on the 10 o'clock news, right?
yes. So really, actually, it could be the 5 o'clock, like it's like the 5 o'clock news. They want you sometimes to turn something for the early show.
Cross the street, Timmy, and then walk down. Wait,
Like-
what would you say? Repeat that?
They want you to sometimes to start something, turn something for the early show.
Okay.
This is Friday and Rye. You know, Friday and Rye is everybody's off.
Yeah.
Nobody's working.
And it's
today.
summertime too.
And it's
Forget about it.
Oh, please. Everybody's going to lunch. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's keep going through the
You have like a
memories.
10-hour day or something similar, right? Or even longer, probably.
You know, it's interesting. I don't know if I can say this, but yes, the actual day could be long, but the actual time you're working is very short because
That's interesting.
it all depends on the story. Like, you know, a story, I could basically sometimes write it in my sleep.
Yeah.
And if I go and do an interview, sometimes it takes me 20 minutes to write the story. I got everything. We put it together. So the actual work may be 2 hours
Okay.
out of an 8-hour day.
And
Let's say
you
for
only have
each
to do one
story.
story a day?
Well, no, something like, okay, yesterday I did one story because they didn't have me turn anything for the early show. But if I'm turning something for the early show, yes, then I may have to turn around and do a different one for 10 o'clock.
Right.
That's kind of how it works.
Make it sound kind of easy. And these stories are like...
I think
yeah.
it's not when you first do it. When you
Right.
first do it, you know, because I remember my first day at Fox 5.
Yeah.
I'm you know, at that point, I'm still riding in the truck with the photographer, and I get to the station. They're like, okay, Richard, you're gonna go to do this story about this group of theater kids putting on this performance. So, you know, I'm looking and I'm like, oh, okay, here's where to go.
Yeah.
So I send
Yeah, 10 straight all the way through town.
the photographer and I go to the Bronx. We had to be in Lower Manhattan,
Yeah.
complete opposite direction. And at that time, I wasn't very good with the city, so I didn't really know the boroughs. Like, if you work in it all the time, you get it.
Right.
But if you're not there all the time, you will not get it. So if somebody tells me, oh, Hell's Kitchen or Chelsea, no, but you're not gonna, I didn't know that a few years ago. I didn't know it like I know it now.
Yeah.
We go to the wrong location on my first day. And the photographer, who was like he was like a veteran,
Yeah.
he said to me, he goes, the one thing I don't do is, he says,
Let this lady go, bro.
he goes, I don't miss slot.
All right, go. Go ahead.
And we didn't miss slot that day. I went to the Bronx, went to the wrong location, drove all the way back to Lower Manhattan, and still made slot on my first day. That's
awesome.
the thing in news, never miss slot.
Yeah,
That was
feel
what I
like
was
you-
told on my first day. Never miss
awesome.
slot. I have. I have. Not usually my fault, but it will be my fault because
Yeah.
I have my name on the story.
Got
so
you, yeah.
even if it's an equipment issue or it's internet, you know,
Right.
it becomes my
Let's go back to talking about like the stories and like breaking news and stuff.
Yeah.
How do like these stories have a wear on your mental health? Like you covering like the darker stories and sad stories. Do you take that stuff home with you?
Yes. Since being a dad, yes. Not always. It didn't before I was a father. But when you become a parent and you go and do it's very, very difficult sometimes to do the emotional stories.
Right.
If a police officer loses his life, if you're, you know, any type of like child abuse, child murder, whatever, you know, like those really hard stories. You know, yeah, it does.
What do you do to not stress yourself out over that, or do you just man up?
You have to kind of be like out of body. So it's like you're
Yourself.
you're acting, so you're performing in a way to the viewer. I really do care about it though.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to break down from it because you have to be strong enough to say, all right, I'll get over this at another time.
Yeah.
But now I have to deliver. I have a job to do.
Yeah, it's not like you're like you're their healthcare specialist, whatever. You're their therapist. You're the
Right, and
reporter,
I
bro.
don't-
You go there to do the job and get out of there.
Yeah, so I wanna give them the information.
Yeah.
And even when I'm anchoring, it's the same thing. It's like, you know, I want to give them the information. I don't want to sit there and break down.
Right.
You know, what are we in a wind tunnel? What happened? Good thing I have enough gel in my hair, Angelo, so don't worry.
That is funny. Lord.
Look at this. They did say it was going to be breezy today. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
did a story whining about the weather.
Whining about the weather. Perfect alliteration.
Okay? Because all we do is whine about the weather. If you think about it, I
Yeah.
always do. It's too cold. It's too hot.
Yeah.
It's too cloudy. It's too like. There's always something to complain about.
Right.
Granted, we're gonna have sun, but we're gonna have a heat wave now.
Yeah, I see
So-
that. 90 degrees.
Here comes the Ryan Police giving more tickets.
Oh.
They do that a lot.
Not actually surprised. I really don't see it. See them getting
You know, I
tickets.
know somebody who got a ticket for parking too far away from the curb.
I've gotten that. I've literally gotten that in front of where Cozy's used to be. I parked too far. I parked more than a foot
I
away from
never
the curb.
heard of that before.
Yeah, no, I definitely did. I was ridiculous though. My shit was halfway in the middle of the street. I was like, oh yeah, I did a horrible job
Okay.
parallel parking. Like it has to be 12 inches. Like that might be.
I'm not saying anything for the sake of this. So you'll cut these into different clips,
Yeah, I cut like 10 to 15 clips from each episode.
and you just keep putting it up.
Yeah.
So you do the full episode.
Yeah, throw it up. I rarely take anything out. Everything's so
how many
candid.
views are you up to now on your YouTube page?
Oh man, I think I'm at 500,000.
No way.
Yeah.
On a video, like you get 500,000?
Oh no, for video, no, I get a couple hundred
subscribers.
views. Yeah, no, I thought you meant like accumulative across the channel, like total.
Very
With the-
cool,
off the walk and talks, but no, I got like a couple hundred views. I did a walk and talk with a famous rapper named Benny the Butcher, and that was my most popular video. I got like 5,000 views.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'll probably have like 100.
you gotta promote it. I think that
I'll promote it for
I
you.
think that I had an idea to do like a nice teaser video. I wanted to get like nice close-up shots. Oh, hear me out. Nice close-up shots just to tease it so they don't know who I'm interviewing yet. I want to have like an epic
That's cool.
version of Frank Sinatra's My Way playing.
Oh, love it.
And it's just gonna be, it's like a cinematic version of the song.
Look at this.
Gentlemen, the Grooming Line. This is definitely new.
We'll never last. You like that?
Yeah,
I got him so interested in it.
Keep it so real. The store, the only
Oh,
thing
well,
that,
I mean, it is what it is.
nothing lasts here.
Nobody's gonna pay the rent. You know, it's sad
yeah.
because that's just the sign of the times now. You know,
Yeah.
so many places come in and they go out 6 months later.
Yeah, a lot of these like things are just hobbies people do that they want to do in their
but
free
then
time.
there are some that have been here just forever,
Yeah.
right? Like that these
I
businesses.
feel like they're grandfathered in with like a deal or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Or they know a guy.
If they know the landlord. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say in Italian. I got a guy. I know a guy.
I know a guy.
What happened, Andrew? It's dead. Angelo, it's dead air now.
I'm getting the questions up. I had questions. I used all of
He
them.
forgot his questions. Oh, we can make things up. Don't worry. You used all your questions already?
You know, I asked all the good ones up first.
Ah, I see. Okay. All right. Ask me anything. That's a good title.
Ask you anything, yeah. What is I guess the biggest thing that you did that got you to where you're at, like the most important thing you did, like okay. Thank God I did that.
Oh,
Now I got the ball on my court. Now that I did that.
Yeah, now you do. Because I would have said interning, but interning didn't necessarily lead me to a job.
I think if I could answer that question for you, what
Yeah,
I think
please do.
popped you out was you took control. I think whatever you do, you become the face of it, bro. Whether it be, I remember there's a video of you covering the Rye flood. Now
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, bro, this
I know
guy's out
everybody
of control.
saw that clip.
Yeah.
Because like at the time it was like nobody was doing that. And it was not real. We did Rye TV.
That's what it was, Rye
That's
TV.
what really like, yes. So you know what? Okay, you answered it
And
for
then
me.
you carried it to Iona Prep. And you were doing the same shit at Iona Prep.
College.
Yeah,
University now.
Oh,
Well, the prep
Iona
is the
College.
high
Yeah, bro. I've never, no, it's so funny. I've never said Iona College in my life. That was the first time I've ever said those
Yeah, well,
words.
yeah, now it's Iona University.
Iona University, okay.
Yeah. They became university.
Iona Prep
Still
is
says
crazy.
college on my diploma, but anyway.
Yeah, that is hilarious.
I don't know. Yeah, but no, I did a little bit at Iona, but I'm going to take
yeah.
it back to Rye.
Okay.
Because Rye was the video journalism class.
Yeah.
Mr. Bayonne gave me that opportunity to anchor those morning announcements and take each announcement that was dropped off and
Right.
rewrite them. Now, I was a high school kid, so I didn't really know how to write for broadcast, but I had an idea and I knew how to be somewhat conversational. So I did that. So when I put it on screen and I did the video journalism and I went in front of it and I learned how to read a teleprompter back then.
Yeah. Do you understand how blessed we were to have this such? Because I went to Buffalo State after high school and tried to do the same thing. It was like freedom writers, and they had no budget for the TV production class. We were using like VHSs, and it was just so out of date. And I was like, bro, High School actually had it made. when it
Yeah.
comes to like the TV production
They
room.
sure did. They had a better production room than Iona.
Yeah, I believe
More
it.
up to date. So, yeah, when I did that and I started, so that's
Tim, you can go left.
In high school. That's when I started becoming like, I came into my own. I figured out what I was going to do,
Yeah,
and yeah, maybe that did make me stand out in this community.
right. Yeah, you were definitely the only person doing it, doing it like the pros do it, at that.
Yeah, I wish I had a solid answer to say like, oh, I went out to this market in.
I broke a huge story, and it was my big break.
Yeah, and yeah, I can't really say that. I think it was just
I think it's consistency
maybe
at a high level.
and somebody liked me and gave me a chance.
Because you had the passion and you took the shit so serious. I remember you one time coming into the RCTV room, just like, all right, guys, where's my papers? You guys have it set up already? I'm like, yo, this
Did I
guy's
really?
crazy.
Who remembers that? He does.
I think that you just fit
Might
into
be
the
right.
role as like, Rich is the top anchor, bro. When he comes in, we got to do what he says.
But there was a lot of pushback from students, some students in that class, that I was being the anchor every morning.
Yeah.
Until towards the latter part of the school year, the teachers there were like, hey, listen, there's a reason why he's doing it. Because he like, this is what he wants to do. This could be his career.
Yeah.
So we're going to allow him to do it. Because it was supposed to be everybody took turns,
Right. Yeah, I remember.
But, there's always that favoritism thing. You'll deal with that in school. You deal with it in the professional world.
Right.
We always have to worry about favoritism.
How do you overcome favoritism? Do you see that today still? Are you a favorite, you think?
Yeah, I actually think I am.
Yeah, I can see it. But
I think I am because the news director who hired me, who's there now, like there are very few good news directors.
What is that
because
job entail?
news
It
director-
oversees everything?
Yeah, like news directors, for lack of better words, they're hard asses.
Okay.
But this one, who I have now, not only believed in me, but continued giving me opportunities even after I was hired.
Right.
And remember, and I don't want to say this to toot my own horn, but when I was brought in, they brought me in staff. I was not brought in freelance. They put a contract in front of me and said, here's the offer. You're basically guaranteed a job for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And that I've been re-signing ever since.
Every 2 years or?
Every 2 years.
Uh-huh.
So, and I know how difficult the business is. And I know there are, because you come in, there's so many freelancers. And they're freelancing at this station and this station, and they're trying to get enough hours. So I don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
And it's a tough business because the freelancers are the first ones who are not going to be called if they're cutting back because they're going to use staff who's already getting paid salary.
Okay.
You bring in a freelancer, you got to pay them the day rate.
Gotcha. I thought they'd be like, because they were a lower rate or they would charge lower, like freelance or whatever. But
They get paid a little lower than a staff reporter.
Yeah.
But the benefits are not always there.
Right.
I don't know if they're part of the union. I think a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know the details of it. I wasn't a freelancer. I can't say I didn't have any experience as that. And I'm so fortunate.
So that's how most people start as a freelancer?
I mean, most people who have come in come in freelance to Fox 5. Yeah.
Right.
And to most other stations. It's rare that you're brought in and say, here's your contract. Me going from News 12 to Fox 5 at the time was life-changing money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Life-changing.
That's awesome.
Because, not that it's life-changing now, but back then it was, because
You get your life together for real now.
at News 12, you're not even breaking $50,000 a year
Okay.
as an MMJ.
Gotcha.
So, a six-figure offer
Yeah.
is life-changing for any young
Yeah,
kid.
absolutely.
For any young kid. So,
Yeah.
all right, we're done.
No.
No, just kidding. Angelo, where's your photographer? Is he coming?
Bro, he's coming from Amerenik, and I'm telling him, hurry up.
Amerenik?
Yeah, this is my barber. He was like, oh, I like your walk-in talk. He's Dominican. I like your walk-in talk, man. Can I take photos for it? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing one on Friday.
Tell him to hurry up.
Yeah, for real. He called me while we were doing the walk and talk. I missed his call. He's like, sorry, I leave. I didn't know. So I'm like, nah, come back. What's some? Oh, I'm getting this call me right now.
Oh.
Yo,
Who is this guy?
I'll be there in 2 minutes. We're walking there right now.
Where is this guy? A barber. He's a photographer, but he's a barber. I don't understand. Look how confused
you're
Angelo
at the park
looks
I
back
told
there.
you?
Look at him.
Okay, yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there in 5 minutes. We're walking back up there now.
5 minutes.
Okay, see you soon. Yep, bye-bye.
Now make him wait.
I told him to go to Starbucks, but he's at the park.
All right, it's
So
okay.
he's gonna have to wait. And that gives me a lot less stress. I kinda want, whatever. Take a couple photos.
Yeah, what a day we got for a walk and talk, huh?
Yeah.
Wow,
Good thing
couldn't have planned it any better.
Yeah, and especially with the rain that's been happening.
With all my rescheduling because of Diddy.
Yo, Richard is, I love how you're so in tune,
Because
bro.
of Diddy.
Yeah. He's covered the
That's literally, I mean, I don't do it every day.
Yeah.
Lisa Evers, you know Lisa Evers is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
She does it
I saw you,
most days.
I saw you with her. You were doing it with her, right?
I did it with her once, a couple times, but like this is her thing, but she's off on Fridays. So sometimes they'll say, come in. But now it's almost like you come in later, like after the fact.
Right.
So I'll still come in night side. I can do it for 5 and then move on to something else.
Gotcha. What's like, you go live and you report sometimes, or is it all pre-recorded and you edit?
No, we do a lot of live shots.
What's sometimes when you messed up live, like some crazy stuff that's happened? That's actually the first interview I've never cursed. I haven't cursed yet, I think. What are some stuff? What is something crazy happened while you were live?
When I just last week, you gotta hold it together though. We're in Lower Manhattan. It was Diddy. And they come to me and I start reading and this fire truck just starts. Now, Lower Manhattan, outside of Federal Court, it's 1 lane. So if there's an emergency vehicle that's trying to get down that street, it's not getting down that street any faster. But the guy, the fire truck is not only has sirens on, but is on the horn.
Yeah.
So it's so loud. I put the video on my Instagram page. It's so loud that like I'm reading, I had to read it, and finally I gave up. I said, you know what? We'll send it back to you. We'll send it back to you guys. I said because
the audio for audio because the audio.
Well, because I said you can't. I said you can't hear. I said whatever I'm saying now in my head, I'm like you're not even listening to anymore, or you can't hear it.
Right.
So we'll send it back to you. After this fire truck passes, you can come back to me. They didn't come back to me, but
hilarious. All right, well, we wish you the best out there. And
exactly. I would say that's the craziest thing. You know,
yeah.
When we go live, we're usually live with one photographer and another one. They like to have 2 people there. It's a union rule because for safety reasons.
Yeah.
If you're in a spot where somebody can jump you. Somebody can jump me.
That's crazy.
There's somebody looking at me. He's looking at the photographer.
What's a story? What's something that you'd be covering that when somebody wanted to jump you?
Oh no, that has not happened to me.
Oh, I'm saying is why would somebody?
I mean, like you don't know people when they see people like on TV.
Yeah.
Or like anything, like it just
some clout chasers.
I don't know. Sometimes it triggers people.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm gonna name 3 people right now, and I'm just curious of why they're important to you or significant to you.
Okay.
Barry Manilow.
Oh God.
Regis Philbin.
Oh wow.
Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen.
I don't know.
That was random.
I was googling it. I was googling it.
That's what came up.
Yeah, I was googling
I'd say
your
more
interest.
Howard Stern than Bruce Springsteen.
Okay, I never heard you mention Howard Stern.
Yeah, I listen to Howard every day.
And I remember you being a huge fan of the gentleman that announced the Yankees.
John Sterling.
Yeah.
I mean, more influential than Bruce Springsteen. If you want to talk about Barry, I just love his music, and I've been so fortunate in my career to have made friends with his team and have interviewed him since being at Fox 5 and gotten to meet him, time and time again.
Yeah.
And they're great. And that's like so surreal. Who else did you say?
Regis.
Regis, of course.
I feel like
Regis. I still embody Regis.
Yeah, literally. That's what I was gonna say. You give me a Regis.
I'm still here, Angelo.
Yeah, literally.
Like that. But I miss Regis because when he was on, when he's doing his talk show, again, another person who I wanted to be. You know,
Yeah.
totally wanted my own. Though that would be like the ultimate dream. Have your own talk show.
Yeah.
You know, that's so cool. But he was, there was nobody like him. You know, he was a local guy too. He lived in Greenwich, you know, and I would see him at restaurants and,
Oh wow.
you know, when he was doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire,
Yeah.
like at the height of his fame. And his fame came later in life.
Right. Yeah. I didn't know until he was an old man with Regis and Kelly.
That was really like, you know, he was in his 50s.
Wow.
You know, or maybe close to 60 when he really made it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So that was part of who I wanted to be. And then I would say, yes, and Howard, I still listen to Howard every day. And I know there are people who say he's irrelevant now, but, you know, nobody interviews like Howard Stern.
Yeah. He's only relevant because of Beetlejuice.
And, you know, it just is Howard is my escape. When I go into the gym and I'm in there for 2 hours, that's who I put on.
Okay.
I don't put on music, I put on Howard Stern.
Like his
Because
radio
it's
show or
my
podcast,
time.
or-
It's my time to just forget everything else. And I'm just worried about what he's saying that day and what's going on in the show.
Right.
So that's very influential. And of course, John Sterling. I'll finish with John Sterling because a Yankee play-by-play announcer was also something I wanted when I was back to Gagliardo. I was pretending I was John Sterling. So think about it. So when he retired, it still hasn't been the same for me.
Wow.
Because I'm a diehard Yankee fan,
Yeah.
but I listen to the Yankees on the radio, and I always did.
Yeah.
Obsessed with the Yankees on the radio. Aaron Boone once said he's a romantic for the Yankees on the radio. So true, because there's nothing like it on the AM dial.
Yeah. That's awesome. Look at the terms, the vernacular.
So when John announced he was retiring, I was sick because I was like, oh my God, there's no closure, there's no goodbye. This was a year ago. I went through all of last season without hearing him.
Right.
Then they said they made a deal that he was coming back to call the Yankees postseason.
Right.
And I was like, yes.
That's awesome.
So I got to listen to him through the World Series. It's Game 4 at Yankee Stadium. And I know this is his final stretch. So I put in that interview request. They granted it. I tell the station we're going to do a profile on John Sterling. I said it could be his last game. It was his second to last game.
Yeah.
But it was his last Yankee win, he called. So now, another dream come true. I go up to the broadcast booth. That's also surreal too. When you're a Yankee fan and you get to go in the press gate.
Yeah.
And
history.
you get to
It's literally history.
mean, it's just, but even because you're a fan too.
Yeah.
So it's like to be in the clubhouse. Like I've been in the Yankee clubhouse.
Right.
I've been in the press box, the press area, and you just have to play it cool.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. How do you do that, man? I can't. That's my problem. That's my biggest problem. I can't keep it cool.
It's really hard. You can't cheer. You can't fan out. You have to just be like, hey, I'm here to do my job.
Yeah, wow.
And I'm just going to watch everything. And
This is recently you did that, right? Or that was last?
No. So this past October, well, I've been going since I started Fox 5. They've sent me.
Right.
So when I went up to the broadcast booth, I got to interview John.
Yeah.
I got to go in the broadcast booth. Susan Waldman is sitting up watching us, and it was an Osmo, and I'm sitting there talking to him in his chair where he sits to call the game, and I got to tell him what an influence he was on me, and I really said, I couldn't even believe I said this. I said, I know to you this was another job. I said, but you are the soundtrack to my summer. Woo. To so many fans who listen to you every day calling Yankee games. I said, I can't tell you how much you meant to me and so many people. Yeah. And I really just want you to know that.
Right.
Because that is no longer there.
Yeah.
I can't, but it's Dave Sims now, who's great. But it's just, it'll never be the same because when you grow up, for as long as I can remember, that's who was on the radio.
Yeah.
That's who's calling the games. So they almost like become part of your life. You know, my little
Gotcha.
antisocial life. When I
Yeah.
would take my transistor radio and I put the radio in my ear
Yeah.
and just ignore the world.
That's awesome. Is Fox 5 the final stop, or would you have other endeavors?
I better be careful how I answer that. I don't want it to be the final stop.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. I want it to be the final stop.
Mm-hmm.
I want to stay at Fox 5.
Yeah.
I want to grow at Fox 5.
Right.
Is there room for that growth? I don't know.
There
There are people in front of me who have been there longer,
Right.
who are full-time, you know. Yeah, I'd love to be a full-time anchor. That's
Okay.
just my ultimate goal right now.
Right. Tim, you can cut to the parking lot, make a right. You'll see.
So,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that is feasible there. I think if any place, like, listen, I'm in the number one market.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm happy with what I'm doing now. I get
mean,
exposure.
It is a great finish. Like, it is not a finish line, but it's a great.
It
bro,
is, because
you're there.
once
That's the
I
top.
go, if I ever wanted to try to go national, I wouldn't have the flexibility I have now. I wouldn't see my kids as much.
I just realized that Fox 5 is only New York.
Yeah.
What's national, like ABC 7 or something? Or
Well, ABC News, NBC News, CBS News,
Okay.
the national networks, Fox News.
Gotcha.
That's going all over. But if you're a correspondent, you may be based in New York, but they can send you on a dime
Gotcha.
to Israel.
Word.
I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah. I feel like
I
you're
kinda
a great
like-
you're a great family man.
I love my kids. I love
Yeah.
my wife. I want to be home, like, with them and
Yeah.
give them as much time, because the news doesn't allow that much time.
Yeah.
So that's really important to me.
Is Fox 5 solely like just news, or because I feel like you'd be a great television show host, man. Like,
So, you know, we have an entertainment reporter who's on the mornings, Good Day New York,
Right.
Ryan, who's so good.
yeah.
You know, I can't say that I feel like almost like the greatest thing about my job is that I get to do something new every day. And the one day is never the same
Yep.
as the other day, the
Yeah.
next day. Is this still open?
Yeah, it is,
Oh, it
man.
is?
I'm actually starting to do content for them starting
You are?
on Sundays. Yeah,
They got
man.
the right one.
Shout out to the Rye Roadhouse. Oh, they do. They're smart.
Rye Roadhouse.
Yep.
But I can't say that I would want to do just like one thing. I don't want to just do entertainment. I like to do it all. I do politics. I could do crime. I could do, you know, I don't know.
I feel like.
I could do entertainment.
What about a podcast?
Sports.
Would you want to have a
I
podcast?
would like to do a podcast.
Yeah.
I do. And we actually,
Trim down the
it's just
parking lot.
time.
Yeah.
It's time. It's basically, it's another, I'll do the podcast with you, Angelo. How about that?
Rich, don't tell me what a good time, brother, because I got the studio space, I got the equipment.
All right, well then I'm gonna have to do it with you. Is this
This is my photographer,
your
yes,
hair
sir.
cutter?
Yeah, it's my barber and my photographer.
Your barber and your
Mangato, my brother.
Hurry
Yes,
up,
sir.
it's over.
Good, man. We'll wait for you to get ready.
So I think that we'll have to talk about that.
Oh, I'm down, bro.
You make my schedule.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, girl, this is my barber slash
How are you?
photographer, Mangato,
Richard, nice to meet
Giacovas. This is my videographer, Timmy. Yeah, you want to just take some photos of us walking and just start shooting everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you could do such a Regis and Kelly type vibe, man. Just if you have like a co.
Yeah, that would be very cool.
and
If I could ever
or even you
do
just have
that.
guests.
guess.
Guests, and you have
Guests would be
you're so
great.
well connected that you could get valuable guests that are worth watching, and
Yeah.
the engagement
I've
would
been
go
told
crazy.
I should do, because I know that's the new way. So that, you have to think about it. The TV medium is not what it was.
Right.
So now it's really now more streaming and podcasts. That's where people are going to.
I mean, Rich, this is why you're on Fox, but you have the voice. This is why I tell people when they got the total package, they got the verse, the look, and the hook. I got all
Verse,
three.
the look, and the hook.
Yeah,
Wow.
they got all
That's
three.
Some compliment.
And so I feel like whatever you put your mind to, you could kill it, especially with a podcast. And I would
think-
do 120% work to get you off the ground if you ever want to get it started. I swear to God, I'll pull the all-nighters
All right,
out.
All right, we got to pay you.
Hell yeah. Man, we could work something out, but I'll do it just to get you started. We can work that out. I know you can make it happen.
Yeah, I got to think, because you have to, you need to know how to execute it, right?
Yeah.
So I could do a podcast, but I need to exactly. I need to know the theme. I need to know the graphics. You need to know, a place to do it, all of that.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily, I don't even know. I'm a millennial,
True.
but I missed kind of that whole social media, like that ship
Your old
sailed.
soul.
I'm Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm still Facebook. Because that's kind of when 2009, when I was in high school, that's kind of when Facebook was popular.
Yeah.
And I think since then, I mean, I'm like not up on the social media like I should be.
Right. So what
That's
I do,
where you come in.
That's literally, so I run the biggest podcast network in Westchester County, Polymaf Network, and what I do is I have people that want to get their podcast started, or people that are already doing a podcast and they feel like it's at a dead end, but they got all the work, they're doing all the right work and be consistent. I come in and I take a load off their hands, and whatever you need me, I do it. For example, I have a podcast studio in Ardsley, and you can record there. I'm a master editor. I'm an expert professional editor, so I edit
see
clips.
your stuff. It does. It looks good.
And I'm just make sure that the podcast gets done and it gets uploaded on all streaming platforms. It goes on YouTube. I'm reaching out to advertisers and possible sponsors to get them paid, so they don't.
All right,
have to,
so you need to make a proposal for me.
Yeah.
Write a proposal for me, send it to me, and then I got to read it.
Okay.
And brainstorm it. See, here's the thing with talent. Talent doesn't want to think. I want you to put it in front of me, and I'll read it.
That's the Richard I know.
Less work.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, I mean, I write all my own stories.
Right.
And I rewrite all my anchor copy. If I'm anchoring, rewrite it all.
That's another question I asked. How does like AI and ChatGPT affect your career?
I don't
Let's keep walking to the park too.
I
That's
don't
fine.
use it because I don't want to become reliant on that. It's not my voice. It's
not your voice.
So you know what? I'll be honest, because I've used it maybe a couple of times over the past year.
Yeah.
Or I'm just like I'm stuck on something. I need to get a word.
Right.
You know, and I'm thinking, and I'm finally like, oh, wait a minute. Let me go to AI.
Yeah.
How do I end this? How can I end this? It'll
Right.
give me some ideas.
Yeah.
I may not even use that exact idea, but it'll put me in the right direction.
I feel like it's good
That's
for
what
titles
I
and
will
stuff.
do.
Yeah, to get
That's
a nice
what I'll do.
alliteration title or something.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that. You know, like I would never though tell it to write my story. That I couldn't do. Because I wouldn't want that. First of all, that would make me, obsolete after a while,
Yeah.
right? I don't want that.
No,
I don't
yeah.
want it myself either.
It takes the fun out of it.
Don't ask me to play basketball with these guys. I'm not doing
Don't ask me to
that.
do. We've been talking about you, but I'm not the most athletic person either, bro.
Oh, you're not?
I don't know.
I don't remember it.
Rich, I don't know if so I played football at Rye High School, right?
You did?
And,
You did?
and
Yeah.
usually there's like 120 kids that join the team. My junior year, 11th and 12th graders are supposed to be on varsity. And I was one of the 4 people that got cut from the football team, bro.
You were?
Yeah, and not even did I get cut.
Confessions. Let's get
I'm-
away from this field. This field is bringing back bad memories for all of us. I'm just kidding.
I had a game-winning home run for when I was on the Royals. They sent us to the championship, man. Well, I won 2 championships.
See, so you were good at that.
I was getting lucky. I would strike out all game. That's like, oh, Angela's
I was
up.
good at no sport. I'm lucky
Yeah.
I can
But the thing
function.
is, that all that talent, energy went to something where you lacked it, where you were all that. Like people are somewhat athletic. You are zero athletic, and all that went to media and speaking.
So,
your speaking
but
skills
again,
are through
it's
the
the
roof.
way your brain. It's the way your brain works, right?
Yeah.
You know, you just.
Let's go on this side. So if he's taking
gotta
photos,
get
he's
it.
not taking pictures of a building.
Where are we going?
Just to turn it
Oh,
around.
over here?
Yeah,
All
just so we can probably get the playground in the background.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Tim, we're gonna come this way, Tim.
The playground that Angela wants to change.
Oh yeah, so I want to get slides. I don't know what this is besides a liability.
Yeah,
know?
I mean that.
It looks like a sex swing.
I don't know. It's a little odd.
And I just want to make this a nice modern park. And we couldn't tell this is a volleyball court.
That's a volleyball court.
Yeah, they used to have a volleyball net. And there's like a hole in
Yeah,
the
I
ground
mean
to put a net.
it's pathetic.
And I feel like with enough commotion, and I know that's not the right word, but with enough energy and enough influence, that they would be like, yo, we got to get something done because this is outrageous.
You know where you should start?
Shout out to Mike Squires, by the way.
I like Mike Squires.
That's an inspiration.
He's
That he could get Macy's cleaned. And I feel
He's
like
a great
it's
kid.
possible.
And he got his due on Channel 5.
Yeah.
You should start with the Rye record.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I would say, hey, write them your pitch. Say I want to share my story, or it's myride.com. There's a couple of different local publications. Tell them what you want to do with the park. I want to transform Gagliardo. I'll meet your reporter here. I'll show you. You know, I'll show you what I envision. Maybe you could do a feature on it. I think they would. That's how it starts.
Oh, when I cut this clip, they will.
Just some advice, because sometimes when you go to the big station,
But yeah, it's not
We're
enough meat
hesitant
yet.
because it's
I
like
totally get it. I
you know,
totally
there's
get
so
it.
many other stories. Like, okay, let's see if this takes off. We'll jump on it if we need to.
If it takes off, I feel like that's when Fox or a bigger station will come in. It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to have some motion. There's no motion yet. I hear that.
Exactly.
And I think
exactly.
your steps is perfect. You hit the right
Yeah.
record up.
Yeah, we'll try.
I will. Last question is, can you just give our audience advice for someone else to follow your footsteps, man, to get to where you're at?
Do I talk to the camera or you?
Talk to the camera.
I'm just kidding. Hello, guys. No, just kidding. It's a different time now, I think, than when I can't do it to the camera. I gotta
Okay,
talk to you.
talk to
It's
me,
so
man.
weird.
Okay, cool.
It's like I talk to the camera my whole life, but it's not that small. I didn't take the traditional path.
Right. Me
So
neither.
you didn't either.
Yeah.
So you can relate. Where it's just like, hey, kind of got lucky, but you may get lucky getting in somewhere, but you got to prove it, and you got to stay there, and you got to get re-signed, and you want to get staff, all of that. So if you're really serious about it, college is one thing, but intern as much as you can, make as many connections as you can, and form those relationships, keep those relationships. You may leave college and wind up not in media, but you may come back to it. But just keep the relationships that
Literally.
you make. You have to form relationships. You're not going to walk into a conference, try to network yourself, and get on the air. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So there's not a day that I take for granted. But there are so many people out there who want to be on television and who want to do what I do. I don't take it for granted. Sometimes it's hard because you're like, oh, sometimes you just want to live like just a simple life and not be on deadline all day. But that's why we have vacation days.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
And Disney World. But I think for anybody who's watching this, if you want to be in media, if you want to be talent, which there are fewer jobs than there are behind the scenes, I say don't give up. I know it sounds cliche, but don't give up because there are so many mediums now. It's not just TV. Like you can make your own podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that can blow up and be successful. Podcasts are making even satellite radio obsolete.
Yeah.
That is the future.
God.
As much as people hate to admit it, streaming's the future. Podcasts are the future. Local news, I'll be asking Angelo for a job. You'll see.
My man.
You'll see.
Richard Giacovas.
Okay.
Just tell everybody where they can find you and check you out at Instagram. Time slot.
What the hell is it? I don't know.
It's just R. Giacovas.
That's where I need a producer.
Nobody's ever like pronounced your
At
name Giacovas.
all the time. At R. Giacovas on Instagram. That's the only place I post. I don't have TikTok.
Yeah. I'm about to get on it for a certain extent.
I'm gonna have to.
How do you-
so
yeah,
you're
but-
gonna do all this
I was
for
gonna
me.
say, how do
You're
you
gonna take care of
feel
it.
about all the like the
I'm gonna make you post for me. You're gonna be my poster.
I'll help you out however I can. I'm down,
He
bro.
offers that as a service.
Yeah.
He does?
Of course, he does it for DJ So Swan.
Yeah.
King of
Oh, DJ says one. All right, I'm whatever.
Literally, there's a DJ whatever too.
Yeah.
I was with him yesterday. I literally was. Yeah. Well, damn, I had another question. Just how do you feel about like the news reporters and stuff that like social media influencers? Do you feel like that's it helps?
Helps news reporters? No.
Yeah, because there's a news reporter. I think his name is Nick Koster, and he does like the dances and stuff. I don't know what news.
Oh, is he weather?
I think he's a weather guy. Yeah.
You know, I mean, listen, sometimes it just takes, you know, there's no saying what is going to stick and what's going to go viral.
Yeah, different show for different folks.
Everybody
Yeah.
has their own. I don't have time for that
Gotcha.
or interest. Like I would like, obviously, I'd like more of a following. I don't have a big enough following, but it's hard to tap into that. You got to make content every day.
Yeah.
And I literally can't be like this on my phone all day long. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I hear
just
you.
can't. I don't want to say it like, I'm so involved in my story, like in the news. I'm driving myself to my stories. That's my choice.
Right.
Then I have to write, you know, you're making deadline. At the same time, you're trying to balance your family life. It's an enormous amount of like stress and pressure that gives you a high. But the last thing you want to do when you come off that high is go and make
Work
content
again.
online.
Work,
You're
yeah.
like, get out of here. I'm not doing
You do
that.
it for a living already.
But
I
that's
hear
why
that.
we have people like you.
Yeah, you're right.
Because you're going to do, you like doing that
I
stuff.
love the social media. I love the instant gratification of like, when you post something, it's like, oh yeah, great, the comments and the likes. It's like,
So
yes.
you like the engagement part of it.
Yeah.
And I like that too, but Like to put up one video, it takes me maybe like 20 minutes. I'm like, I need to get this 20 minutes back to go, you know, I don't know, watch a show that I haven't been able to watch.
Word. I hear that. Well, Mr. Giacovas. Oh, before we end, I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Bayonne, bro.
That's right.
He raised us.
He did. Big influence.
Yeah, he had
big influence.
Understanding. And
He just wrote to me a few weeks ago about a story I did. So he's still watching, and he's still critiquing.
Yeah, he definitely is.
But you know what he used to do all the time when he wanted a new clip? Do you remember what he used to do?
No.
Remember when he used to snap?
Yeah.
When he would want to go to the next thing, he would go like that in the control room.
Oh yeah, with the switch.
I still remember that snap.
The switcher, yeah. I
still
never did that. I was always like, I want to be anchor. I'm not coming. That's it. I was anchor or reporter. I remember my first interview at the school was with Mr. Steele.
Yeah.
And
I still haven't been invited back.
I don't. Well, it's a different vibe. I don't even know what they're doing over there.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't care.
All right, that's it. Regis Giacovas,
I'll
man.
stay here.
Rise finest.
Rise fine. This is Rise fine. This one is changing the world.
My brother.
Not me.
Park at a
Thank you,
time.
buddy. Thank
Yeah,
you.
love.
Thank you. All right.
Let's take a profile
good.
pic. Can we take one more photo?